What's up, ladies and gents, and welcome back to Forza Horizon 5. We are here with another seasonal championship, this time exclusive event in Nissan Eazy. We have to use a Nissan in the B class, and yes, they are showing a Skyline on the picture, but that's not what we are using today. We are using something very inexpensive and yet pretty classic, namely the 1994, I believe it is, Nissan Fairlady Z version S twin turbo, this one right here. Tuning shellcode is in the description, as always. Let's say we jump right into it. I very much considered using the Skyline. Unfortunately, however, we have used that so often in the past that I thought, hey, let's use something else for a change. And I'm pretty sure we never used this car before, so why not, right? It's very inexpensive, I think 20,000. The tune is also not that expensive, it's affordable. And yes, it's not as iconic as the Skyline, I know, I hear you, but you can use the Skyline if you so desperately want to, but come on, this is a classic. This is like the Skyline, everyone knows that, but this one, it's more of a car nerd classic. And I very much appreciate having that in here. This tune has a little bit more power and a little bit less handling. It's a little bit heavier than some of the other tunes. The other tunes reduced the weight of the base car. This one actually increased it. On the other side, we have so much power in this that it more than makes up for it. It's just on the handling and going through the corners that we might sometimes not have the fastest car, or we have to brake a little bit earlier because we have to slow down the weight, of course. But generally speaking, I believe this is a very good tune, a very workable tune. So, but I was considering other tunes, let me tell you that much. Especially ones with massive weight reduction. Going for a more nimble tune, but in the end this has just won me over because of the immense power it has. Especially for a B-class car. And in the end it has won out, and so far it's working really well. And the thing is, you can make up for a lack of handling by driving a little bit more careful. It's a lot harder to make up for a lack of power. There we go. Past now. Going through here, going through there. So far so good, working alright. Definitely have to brake hard into that corner or else we land in the wall, which might not be too beneficial for our race progress. One could even say it hurts the race progress, or at least the rate of progression, because it probably doesn't hurt the progress in the sense of setting it back. As you can see, when we are discussing the correct terminology of how we want to describe a crash, we are probably at a stage in the race where we are not worrying about if we actually can win it. This can now either mean we are way behind and it's pointless anyway, or it means we are way ahead and we just have to pass the time until we reach the finish line. This obviously being a case for the ladder. Unless we miss some checkpoints, then things could become interesting again. There we go. Oh, that's 20 points. Let us... Where is it? Here. Go to the next race to make it 40 points. I mean, yes, the car is rather iconic. Yes, it's not the skyline. But I don't know, this is pretty cool, I think. Especially if you are from that era. Like, this is a 90s car. I'm not entirely sure people from way past the 90s will understand why this is a classic, because, like... even if you are from the 90s and you weren't really interested in cars back in the day, you might not understand it. Because let's say I ask my girlfriend, hey, what do you think of this car? Then she probably says it's, well, ugly. That's probably the nicest thing she's gonna have to say for it, but... come on, it's cool. I like it. I mean, yes, it's not particularly pretty, but it's not always about that. Let's be honest, neither is the skyline. I actually, like, yes, you're probably stoning me for treachery right now, but I don't think it's the prettiest car in the world. It's a cool one, and it's classic and iconic, and I love it. But it's not the prettiest car in the world. I know many people have posters of it, and again, I like it, but there are definitely prettier cars. Which isn't to say that it's ugly. I mean, this thing looks worse, definitely. It's not to say that it's ugly, it's just not the prettiest. 370Z coming here. Without much of a chance. Here I out myself again. I'm not the biggest fan of the GTR. I love it from a technical perspective. It's an amazing vehicle. Drivability, performance, general track performance. Amazing car, absolutely amazing. But as far as looks go, I prefer something a little bit more flamboyant, I guess. It's very functional in that regard. That's also why I'm not the biggest fan of McLaren, because as amazing as the cars are, and we all know I will never drive either of them anyway, but they don't have the flair of, say, a Lamborghini or a Ferrari. And they're not supposed to, but there's just something about this Italian design that is just different. This other car, also the Ital design, 01, that thing, that's also really cool. Those are just these, again, these flamboyant designs that I very much appreciate and like. Whereas a lot of cars that I really like and appreciate aren't as pretty, but I just like them from a technical perspective, from a drivability perspective. I also don't think the Koenigsegg is the prettiest car in the world, but I am amazed by what these guys achieve. Same goes for Bugatti. I'm one of those people that finds the Veyron absolutely ugly, but it was a milestone in its day. And you can appreciate that without finding everything about it amazing. There we are with 40 points. I also don't quite understand why people are so offended every time you say something negative about something they like. Reminds me of the console wars back in the day. At least those are settled now that we can all agree that the PlayStation is better. He says while playing Forza. I'm not really making it a whole lot better, am I? But it's kind of funny because people are so easily triggered these days that you can just say crap like that and it doesn't even matter. Like, I don't care about any of those things I just said. This one isn't ugly, the skyline definitely isn't ugly, it's just not as pretty as, let's say, an Aventador. That doesn't mean it's ugly, you know? That doesn't mean I hate it. And even if I did, well, what's the problem? I can like or hate whatever I want, right? But no, we have to crucify everyone of different opinion, don't we? All in the name of free speech or something. That Nismo is really cool. I like that huge wide body. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but that wide body is so cool, that kit. This one's just classic. We all know. A car that I actually don't like very much is the 370Z. It's not a bad one, but I'll probably drive around in it for fun a little bit, but probably wouldn't buy it. I mean, outside the fact that it's too impractical, but even leaving that away, I would probably not buy it. And I like small fun cars, but oh well, in the end I'm just a sucker for BMWs. I would just buy, like, if I wanted something in that category, like a, it depends, 235 maybe, coupe, something in that range. I just prefer, even a 135 I would prefer it to the 370. Or the, what is it called, 120 ATI? That's a really cool one. I like it. I like the red on the car. I really like that. It's cool. In white or in black, it's really cool. I've seen one in blue, and the blue with the red doesn't mix well. But I've seen one in white and in black also. Mostly in white and mostly in black. And it looks really cool. But yeah, that one in blue, that just didn't look any good. But the other ones in white and black, they were pretty cool. I really like that. Oops. Bumping into the car. There is actually a... what is it? There is a guy in the neighborhood who has two old Japanese cars, relatively old Japanese cars. One is a Nissan Silvia, and one is that fair lady that we are just driving. And that's really cool because he has been parked in front of his garage, and he's oftentimes working on them, doing his own little fun stuff with them, and that's pretty cool. I like that. But I prefer the Silvia, to be honest. It's a more fun car, in my opinion, but it is what it is, right? So, hey, someone did have the Silvia. I hope you enjoyed it. That should be 60 points now, shouldn't it? Yes. Thank you for watching, and until next time, farewell.